Hi. I cut my hair. Do you like it? It's still long, but like it's not as long. You wouldn't have noticed, would you? So I didn't post a video last week, and for that I sincerely apologize. I thought the world was gonna end, and in my defense, it still might. But I'm posting a video this time, so at least there's that. But like it doesn't even matter. I don't even think any of you guys noticed that I didn't post a video. This is a hint for y'all to like go in the comments and be like, oh my god, Chloe, no, we always notice when you miss a video. I have stated before that I am making an attempt to be perhaps the most basic YouTuber ever, and so I'm gonna continue that. Here's a story time. What is this story time about? Well, I'm glad you asked, and I'm also glad you can't read because it's in the not the description, it's in the title. Okay, I can't read, isn't that fun? As I've mentioned, I'm going to college for theater. I would like to be an actress. But it is not the only thing I've ever tried, unfortunately. Without going into too much detail because it's boring, I'm doing like this humanities credit thing at my school, and in order to fulfill the requirements of like the humanities certificate program thing, you had to do an activity. And so what I chose to do, I chose Model UN. Now my logic was, hey, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I think I do alright. I do pretty well in school, and I'm also pretty sociable, so politics couldn't be too difficult for me, could it? So let me start from the beginning. So sophomore year of high school, I signed up for Model UN because what's the worst that can happen, right? So our club met every Friday for an hour for pretty much the entire school year. Since it was my first year in Model UN, and I was the only first-timer, they assigned me a partner who, for the sake of storytelling, because I have not asked him if permission to use his name, we're going to call him Mark. So Mark and I were assigned to be partners for the main Model UN thing, because they had a bunch of little subcategories of like less important stuff, but then they had the big one, or they had two big ones, but we were part of one of the big ones. Am I making sense? None of this is important. Here's what you do need to know. Mark and I were assigned to this Model UN group, and we were told that they were going to talk about one of two things, either nuclear disarmament or blood diamonds. This is important. They were going to talk about one of the two topics. When we got there, the committee would vote on which topic to talk about, but until then, we didn't know. So we had two topics to research, even though we would only end up talking about one. It's dumb, I didn't like the system, but like that's how it worked. Mark and I were the delegates of Sweden. Now we have several months to do our research before going to the committee. So what Mark and I decided to do was to split up the research between the both of us. I did nuclear disarmament, he did blood diamonds. If you've never done Model UN, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, the way that it works is that you're not allowed to bring in internet at all. Like recently they've let you bring in your computer so you can use Google Docs to like type stuff up, but even that's new, and you're not allowed access to the broad internet. You can never look anything up. So if something's not in your notes and you don't know it, there's no way for you to like fact check it. So for someone like me, that is pretty much terrifying, because I didn't want to be the one caught in there without the proper notes and without the proper education. So basically what I did is that what did I do? How do I put this? I pretty much downloaded and printed out everything on the internet that was even remotely related to nuclear disarmament. So finally, months later, I've got this big binder full of just stuff that no person could ever look through in one sitting, right? Like it wasn't going to be helpful to me anyway, but at least it was like there. I could have told you a concerning amount of fun facts about nuclear disarmament and like cybersecurity and all that jazz. I've forgotten all of it, but like I knew it at one point. So the big day comes. A lot of people had to stay at the hotel near the convention center, but luckily for Mark and I, we lived driving distance away, so we didn't have to stay in the hotel. But what we did do is we did rent out a hotel, not just for Mark and I, but for the entire Model UN club, so that we could just leave our stuff there while we were at the convention center. And we spent a lot of time in that hotel room just hanging out between like events and stuff. So the first day that we go, I remember this because it just set the tone for the rest of the weekend. we all decided to go out and get dinner together because while it is only a drive away from us, it's kind of a long drive, so we didn't want to be schlepping back and forth. So we all set our stuff down in our hotel room and then we all go out to dinner. The problem is, it is pouring rain outside and I am wearing a blue dress, a blazer, and heels. Not exactly prancing around in the rain weather, but we go anyway. So the place, we end up going to some like random mom and pop bakery, which was like fine, except for they didn't have anything that constitutes dinner. But like, okay. I go up and nothing really appeals to me, so I say like, listen, can I have a baguette and butter, and I'll just like chew on this and then I'll eat dinner when I get home tonight. And they said yes, and I paid for it, and I got the baguette and I got no butter. And I went to them and I said, hey, I'm like sorry to be rude, but could I have some butter for this, please? And they said, we're out of butter, which was interesting because they were a bakery, but like I didn't want to be rude, so I said, okay, like I totally get it. I'm not trying to be rude or anything because but if there's no like butter for this baguette, can I get like a bagel and cream cheese? And they said yes. So they said to me, because we've already processed your money, we're just gonna give you the same amount of bagels that's worth one baguette because the bagels were cheaper than the baguette was. And I said, no, it's really okay. One bagel is good. And they said, no, we're giving you more than one bagel. I thought I was gonna get 2 bagels, maybe 3 bagels. I got 6 bagels. Like, I need y'all to understand the situation, because I'm dressed, like, way too nicely. Like, no human being should dress like that while eating at a bakery. I am soaking wet from the rain, and I'm just watching these very nice people put bagel after bagel into this bag. And so finally they come up and they give me 6 bagels and like a stupidly large tub of cream cheese. But then I go to hand them the baguette and they're like, nah, you can keep it. So yeah, that part was like not even a big deal, but I feel it's really important to me that you understand that we had 5 bagels and a baguette just in our hotel room. Let's get to the actual like interesting part of the story. I consider myself an extrovert. This is my MBTI. Y'all know what this is. This is mine. I'm good with people, I think. I like small talk. I'm happy. These people, like they come up and be like, hi, my name is Susan, what's your name? And I'd be like, oh, I'm Chloe, I'm the delegate of Sweden. And they'd be like, awesome, is this your first time doing this? And I'd be like, oh yeah, it is my first time. Is it yours? Oh no, I've been doing this since I was 5, but like, I'm sure you'll do fine. And then they'd walk away and do it to like 5 other people. Like, people don't talk like that. So I think I'm handling this okay. Poor Mark is about to have a heart attack because he's more introverted, and these people are not introverted. So Mark and I sit down and just sort of look at each other and we're like, okay, this is gonna be great. The meeting started and I had all my notes and I was ready to go. And you can probably see where this is going. So after we voted to talk about blood diamonds, I turned to Mark and I said, hey, can I see your notes? What Mark lacks in extroversion, he very much makes up for in his intelligence. He is very smart, meaning that he did not need to take as many notes. So together we've got me, who can talk to people very comfortably but has no idea what's going on, and Mark, who's not as comfortable talking to people, but like, is an intelligent person. So we were in a bit of a predicament. So once it opened to like an open discussion sort of thing, I remember the delegate of Peru came up to me and said, hi, you're the delegate of Sweden, right? What do you think about the Kimberley process? And I had nothing. I didn't know what the Kimberley process was. So I turned to Mark and he goes, we like it. And I turned back to the delegate of Peru and I said, Sweden believes the Kimberley process is not only beneficial for... I just started talking, and I think it worked. I learned a very important lesson that day, which is that the correct way to do politics is to have someone who's a good public speaker combined with a person who's actually intelligent, so that the good public speaker can, like, make up the fancy words while the smart person just tells them the correct things to say. It wasn't perfect. These other delegates were smart, and if they managed to separate Mark and I, it wasn't very good. But Mark and I, when we were working together, we were unstoppable. Mark, if you're watching this, I know that's not your real name. I'm using Mark because I didn't ask permission to use your name. You saved my life. And so that was pretty much the entire weekend, is sitting in the hotel room with the other guys complaining about the other people at Model UN. I wanted to say eating that bread, but honestly, like, I think maybe 2 of the guys split one of the bagels, and then we had, like, 4 bagels left over. Math isn't my strong suit. We had 4 bagels left over in an entire baguette. If you do Model UN, good luck. I'm sure people like it, because if people didn't like it, people wouldn't do it. And there's also clearly people who are better at it than I am. But if you're sociable and think that that's gonna be enough for you, you've got another thing coming. And I will pray for you. Anyway, that was my story time. I hope you liked it. And if you didn't, then, like, unsubscribe. Or don't, actually. Like, it's nice having you here, and we'll do other things. But, like, if you like my story time, subscribe. Like and subscribe to this video. This video was sponsored by Raid Shadow. How am I not famous yet? I've done all the YouTuber things. Thank you for watching. Bye.